Hey guys, RC here. Welcome back to episode 3.4 of WWCF Radio this week. We're going to be finishing up the Mountain West, starting on to the MAC. We've got episode 3.3 going up currently. 3.1 and 3.2 went up earlier today. And we just finished looking at New Mexico, and that leaves us with Wyoming. Being that Sean stood me up today, I should skip them, but I'm going to do them anyway. They're looking for a win or two, projected to finish ninth. 67 and 229 lifetime. One postseason appearance, though. You know, what you guys have to remember if you're at a lower school, and I know Sean does because I've talked to him enough, is you're really looking for small victories at this point. You look for 6 wins, you look to make to a bowl game, possibly a bowl win, landing your email guy. If you even have a prestige to get one, he may not at a 28. I don't know if you start getting those until you're 30 maybe. In fact, I just took over a new team in the GDCFL, and I was like, we started recruiting for tonight, and I went to go do my export earlier, and I went, oh my God, I got an email guy. This team sucks. Because I think you get an email guy up till 60 prestige is what I think it is. I think it runs from 30 to 60. It might be at 28. I don't remember, but I think it starts at 30, maybe even 40. Anyway, let's see. Sean's got Toledo and Akron scheduled at home, Central Michigan, and at Iowa. So he got his one human game in there. Went with, looks like 3 computer-run teams at home. Sean, you should have scheduled one of those teams on the road. I don't know. I look at it that, it's harder to play on the road. I don't know that it actually helps you develop your players anymore. But I would think playing on the road and learning how to fight on the road would help you going into conference play. At least that's how it works in my mind. So that's kind of how I try to get at least one road game early, if not 2, and then finish off at home if I can when I need the wins down the stretch. Is he really running an option? Oh, that's incredible. Because to my knowledge, the option is actually broken in this game. Sean, you and I are going to have a. I see a future episode discussing game planning. Jot that down somewhere, and you can clue us all in on the option when it comes to bowl-bound college football, because inquiring minds do want to know. I'm actually doing a video dynasty. You can find that also on my web channel, on my YouTube channel, using the new game, Draft Day Sports from Wolverine, and I'm trying to recreate the option in that game to see if it works. Having some issues, trying to get some feedback from some of the guys at Wolverine, but I digress. That's interesting. Running back Trace Condon, a 44 defense, so the first team we have covered doing that defense, and cornerback Nathan Dorsett. Okay, so that's some interesting selections to say the least. Ouch. That's all I can say about quarterback. Too bad you can't get one of these running backs to play quarterback. So maybe that's why he's running the ball a lot with the option, with three running backs. That's got to be what it is. Problem is you don't have a good blocking back. Of course, that's what's broken. The fullback doesn't carry the ball in the option attack. Stroud. Okay, so you got at least one really good receiver, one solid receiver because he's developed, and then everybody else is developmental. Not bad on the left side of the line. Majors and Wilkerson, heck, even Williams. So you've got some developmental guys three deep that you can do there eventually. Oh, defense looks like a nightmare. Dorsett's probably a shutdown corner at this level to some extent, but boy, everywhere else, I'd be extremely concerned. Um, hmm, I'd throw at this guy about 80 times in that game. And actually, this is helping me out because I'm actually seeing some things that I really haven't looked at before from a scouting perspective that I don't usually take the time to do during a season. So I'm actually learning here doing this. So this is good. I'm going to actually be able to incorporate some of this year. All right, so that is Wyoming. Um, Ninth place, probably a good thing to consider. Um, Man, you just there's nothing on that defensive side of the ball. I'd be very worried about that. But I am going to be interested to see how your option attack works, and I would love to talk to you on a show down the road about the option if you've ever run it before, if you've ever had any success. Because everything I know about bull bound, which is pretty substantial, is that the option does not work from what any test or anything that I've been able to see. All right, now we're moving up to the MAC. So we have Duke out of the ACC. They're picked to finish ninth. They got demoted. Temple at fourth. So let me make a note here. Temple. Army, 10th place. Oh, wrong team, wrong team. Akron, 8th place. Buffalo in 6th. Western Kentucky in 5th. Then we have Indiana. Wow, that's pretty bad when you get pulled out of the Big Ten and you're still picked to finish 11th in your conference, in the new conference that's lower. All right, Ball State is picked to finish first. Central Michigan picked to finish second. Northern Illinois, always liked their logo and their mascot. Toledo at 12th. And Western Michigan at 3rd. All right, let's take a look at the coaches page. And this is going to be the Mid-American. All right, so we've got Akron, not covered. Army, not covered. Ball State, all right, that's Harry. Is it any surprise he's picked to finish first? Not really. Northern Illinois. All right, well, I tell you what, only one of the top 4 teams are picked, so let's cross all them out, and we will go with Ball State, Army. Benjamin, I know, has been in the league longer than last year. This must just be a new team because I recognize his forum name, so he's been around before. Let's go ahead and do Akron with Ron. And Alex at Northern Illinois. All right, that'll be so our 4 human owners. So we'll do those 4 teams. Let me be able to keep an eye here. We're going to hit publish there. So 3.3 will be going live here just in a few minutes. And we're, of course, recording 3.4. All right, so let's see. First up is Army and Akron. Let's see who we can. I think Akron's first. All right, so Akron picked to finish in 8th place. Run and gun quarterback Nelson King. It's always good when you see quarterback as your top player. Defense run a 4-2-5 That's another interesting defense we don't see a lot of, and they rely on quarterback Alan Slayton. 87 and 215 lifetime, 3 postseason appearances, and a postseason win. So that's good. Wow. Actually, 2 quarterbacks that are both pretty decent for this level. King's a junior. Spikes is a redshirt sophomore. I think you'd have to evaluate if you could merge those 2 guys together, you'd have a pretty decent quarterback. No running backs, no receivers, tight end. Pretty solid middle of the line for this level. That's actually surprisingly solid. I'm curious if they recruited these guys or if these were JUCO transfer players that they got. I think you need to move Spikes. Oh, that's not defense. I'm thinking cornerback there. So a lot of up the middle runs, quarterback sneaks if any of them have any speed. 46, 50. So you might actually be able to mix some quarterback runs if they're durable enough. Right up the gut, some quarterback draws and whatnot. I don't know that I would be handing the ball off a lot, but you know really your quarterback can't. He's got to get it to a running back or a receiver. That line is not going to help much of that at all. So good luck on the defense. Good linebacker. You do have some decent guys for this level on the defensive line. Probably need to move Kirkland up at the weak side linebacker. Of course, we're only doing red shirts this week, so we're still a week away from a sim away. But I wanted to get this done while I had time, so we're having to go with what I see here. Staten, of course, is going to be a really good shutdown corner at this level. Everything else is going to be really tough, and he won't be able to do it by himself. So Akron's going to struggle. That's just going to be how it is. All right, let's move on to Army. Right there, team info. Picked to finish 10th place, 102 and 202 lifetime. 2 conference championships, 6 postseason appearances. A run and gun quarterback Justin Ponder, 44 defense, defensive tackle Jason Thrasher. So that's another 44 defense. Don't see a lot of that. Okay, again, a couple of really good quarterbacks here. Ponder's actually pretty above average for this level. That's going to be, he must have been a transfer because he played, sat out a year, played again. So he must have been a transfer from wherever he was this year. Don't remember where. Again, I wish that was something that it would show, but can't get everything, and I'm certain we won't get that from Arlie at this point. Yeah, he looks really good, man. Running back's going to struggle. He does have a good receiver. Serviceable offensive line. Weak on the right side again. Thrasher's going to plug up the middle, but you could probably attack the edges here. You do have Weatherspoon in the middle. And actually, Carenza won't be he won't be bad at all once as he develops. Just, maybe one more point and he'll be really good. Corner, some problems. Safety has just been overall neglected. I was actually looking to see if these guys were walk-ons, but no, they're scholarship players. Yeah. Over the top. Go deep. Um, so I see a couple of positive things there, and they might be able to pull out a couple of wins just off of with the quarterback all by himself. Let's see. After Akron, Ball State. Now this is Harry's team. He's also the Florida coach, so not surprised to see him pick to finish first. He's a great coach. 176 and 148, 4 conference championships, 18 postseason appearances. Um, Connecticut, App State, Florida Atlantic, and Kansas. All 4 home games. I don't think any of these are human run, so not sure how we got around the one human opponent here, but um, Darren, I'd make a note of that because I know you watch all of these. But we need to make sure that everybody's following the rules and scheduling one human game every year. Um, there's plenty of low prestige teams that you can schedule uh, and have a competitive game. Um, but anyway, moving on. Oh, Smash Mouth running back Lito Pullen and a 34 defense inside linebacker Alexander McLean. I wonder if he's related to John McClane from Die Hard. All right, he's got a good quarterback, so a good signal caller, 2 solid running backs, good fullback for blocking, probably even running the ball, 2 deep receivers. Now he's only a 40 prestige, so you can immediately see just what a few prestige points are making in the recruiting ability, and that could be the players that you're targeting. It could be, now some of those were no, all those were human run teams we've looked at. Sorry, I needed to get a drink there. But you can see immediately just looking at the overview, immediately we've got a much better quality of player team here. Certainly see why they're picked number 1. Good across the line, even though you've got 2 guys here that need development time. That's okay. Really deep at the guard. You could probably even move one of those guards over to center. Looking at the defense, kind of the same thing. Linebacker appears to be his weak spot on the outside. You do have Needham and Pratt. They need some development time. McLean and Dean, you could certainly run a 3-4 or a 4-4. Good off the edge with a backup. Little weak up the middle. Look at the depth at cornerback. I mean, that's strong to be able to recruit that deep. So what that tells me is he's actually probably forsaking these positions and really recruiting heavily here to have pass defenders in his defense. So I would say, and Harry, let me know if I'm wrong, but I would say that's probably something that you have done on purpose in your recruiting strategy. You haven't ignored it completely because you've got some guys, but yeah, he's a sophomore, 2 sophomores. So that's what's going to happen at this level when you don't have upperclassmen that have had that developmental time to get that 3rd or 4th year of development. And that's also why it's really good a lot of times at a smaller school to redshirt players, redshirt everybody that you recruit to give them that 5th year, because none of them are going to be good enough to transfer in all likelihood, and certainly not good enough to go pro at this level. And that gives you 5 years to develop them. And if you get into that routine, then you end up with a lot of guys with 3 years of development, and you start seeing, people closer to their max potential. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you've got so much depth at corner, I think that just tells me that you are recruiting that on purpose and kind of ignoring linebacker a little bit, not completely, but I'd say if I had to guess, I'd say that's something that's done intentionally. So offensively, a lot to like here. Defensively, very solid. He'll be able to shut down the pass pretty well. We'll have pressure on the quarterback. You'll have at least one guy able to cover in the flats and secondary. I think that's a very well put together team for this level. All right, moving on from Ball State. Last team we're going to cover here is Northern Iowa. Northern Illinois is Northern Iowa. Who was at Northern Iowa? Wasn't that Kurt Warner? I think that was Kurt Warner. All right, let's take a look here. They're picked to finish 7th, run by Alex Mallett. 116, 187, 9 postseason appearances, no conference titles. Did I coach this team once upon a time, or was that in the other league? Now I am curious, because I don't remember. Nope, it wasn't this league. Must have been the other league. Greg was here for a while. JC was here for a while. Alex has been here for a few years now. All right. Anyway, Grant, you'd probably like a little bit better quarterback, but you know he could probably be worse. True freshman starter though. Wow. Ouch. Boston, a good running back, good tight end. I'd say Peebles will be a decent receiver. Justice will be a good blocking back. You've got a good anchor at left tackle and a good right tackle. You know, fours and fives are kind of what you look for. I think when you looked at Harry's team at Ball State, you saw a lot of 5 and 6 guys. So it's not much better than these guys. It's just he had a lot more of those better players, and that's what makes the difference in a game. But you know he's right there. I think you know you could build this up just a little bit. You've got so the offense probably will struggle somewhat. Payne, Staley needs to develop. See, that's a guy. Well, see, he's a junior. See, that's a guy that I probably would have redshirted as a freshman, and then he'd only be in his second year, and we'd probably have him at a 3.5 already, maybe a 4. You got a really good cornerback. Wow. I wonder. I'll be curious, Alex, if you do watch this. Do you remember if you got this guy as a transfer? Because again, this is a guy that's really, I mean, you know, he's number 1082 and he's turning into a 4-star player. That could just be one of those booms that we see. It could be that you actually, you know, he was redshirted as a freshman, transferred, and then you picked him up. He sat out a year. But I think he would still be a sophomore his first year, which means he'd be gone. So you must have recruited this guy. So hey, that's a great get when you get one of these guys that boom up like that. So he's got a true shutdown corner for the MAC level. Holiday will be okay. Hicks will develop. Kaysen will develop. It's like I said, I think this team needs to start looking for guys that'll be with that 5 and 6 potential across the board, and working on building up that kind of depth. And you know, I think that's going to be to start making the difference for them. But yeah, I can see why they're picked at 7th. Could be worse, but it could be better as well. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and put a cut here. We've only got a couple of minutes left of recording time anyway, and that gets us to the end of an entire conference. So we'll just make a clean break, come back in the next episode. So thanks for watching, and rest assured I will get to your conference at some point, hopefully today, but we'll see. Thanks a lot. Take care.